Hi, I'm Andrew Martin. I'm the group publisher at cybersecurityasian.com, and we're here at Tech Week in Singapore. And I am very pleased to have with me Mark Brosnan, who is the CEO of a company called Getvisibility. So Mark, nice to have you with us.
Thank you very much.
Before we jump into some questions, because I know you've been here talking about AI, and I think you spoke on AI earlier, but before we jump into that, do you want to just tell us a little bit about your company, Getvisibility?
Yeah, so Getvisibility is a data security company.
Yeah.
We specialize in finding and contextualizing lots of unstructured, risky data and allowing organizations to protect that data. At the core of what we do is artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is obviously a very big enabler to a lot of transformational breakthroughs in solving some fairly complex problems, and data security is right in that sweet spot. So we've been operational for about 5 years. We're serving 38 different countries. Some of the largest organizations in the world are using our system. And we're very happy to be here in Singapore.
Excellent, yeah, and I know you've been here, you actually spoke around AI, and you were just mentioning to me before how it's like cybersecurity and AI is an intersection of two very, very hot topics. So coming back to that then, on the debate about AI as a friend or foe in cybersecurity, where do you stand on that personally? So your views, and do you see any trends around that kind of dilemma?
Yeah, so AI is going to be a fantastic enabler for solving some of the big data security problems, vast quantities of data, very complex problems to solve. And it allows cybersecurity teams who are overstretched and under-resourced to have far more capacity to solve these problems, and maybe to be able to prioritize their workflow a lot better. Similarly, those cyber criminals are also using AI, and cyber criminals will move towards the path of least resistance. So it will allow them to do more and target more companies. So the throughput and the volume that they'll be able to do in terms of their attacks and phishing and so on will also increase. I think it's like any other segment of cybersecurity. Organizations really need to embrace artificial intelligence to be able to keep pace with the cyber criminals. And there's an element of a war going on between both sects, and both staying at pace.
Yeah.
But if AI is utilized correctly and organizations have a long-term strategy towards AI, we're firm believers that actually AI can outmaneuver and outpace what the cyber criminals can do if it's done in a very effective, well-planned implementation.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think the other issue you mentioned about the skills, like the skills gap, is it's a big issue in this part of the world as well. So I think it's something that a lot of companies are looking at, about how do they augment with automation and intelligence. But coming back to the specifics of AI in the hands of the bad guys, it's good news that you said to us that you think it can, if it's used correctly, it can keep you one step ahead. But can you give us some insights into just specifically how cyber criminals are leveraging AI and machine learning for their kind of malicious activities?
Yeah. So I suppose where we're seeing a very big trend at the moment is in the automation of phishing attacks and social engineering. We see a lot of the core or primary driver for a cyber criminal from a phishing perspective is to get access to the network or to get access to a particular amount of data. So cyber criminals are using deep fakes, they're using chatbots to mimic very senior people in organizations to get access to networks and so on. And there's a very famous case recently where Martin Lewis, a famous financial advisor, had a deep fake with someone purporting to be him, and we're seeing that causing lots of issues. That's starting to happen very, very frequently, and the volume and quality of these phishing attacks is getting better and better, which essentially makes it easier for cyber criminals to break into your network and do ransomware attacks and things like that.
Yeah. It's actually quite scary, because it's like, if I think that fairly obvious emails were fooling people, I guess these deep fakes are going to be another level of...
completely, and they're understanding context. There's a recent case where we were dealing with where a senior member of the team had gone on holidays to Italy. The cybercriminals had been tracking his emails, and they were able to use ChatGPT to simulate a conversation around being in Italy, and it was very credible. The solution to that is obviously training and awareness, and I suppose coming back to the skills deficit, AI enables lots of people with a lot of understanding and maybe domain expertise in different segments like HR or whatever to become a cybersecurity expert, because the AI is automating a lot of the very technical aspects of that.
So, and actually just developing that point about your people in an organization. So when you look at the kind of workforce development, I guess starts with the IT team and the cybersecurity professionals, but how well equipped are they to effectively develop the skills to combat this new threat?
Yeah, so it's obviously repeated training and awareness, but what we're big believers is that the quality or the effectiveness in terms of having your staff understand the threats is about making the training very real and practical. So rather than being a theoretical exercise, bringing real life data or real life use cases to the fore with data that they're dealing with. So one area that we're spending a lot of time working on is creating contextualized training and recommendations, and using recommendations throughout the course of someone's normal work life, saying, well, you're now touching very sensitive data, this is a lot of risk, and just giving a recommendation or a pop-up, almost like Google would do when you're driving down the road, saying, well, don't turn left because there's a lot of traffic. AI can help you automate that, and it just creates that awareness through threading it into everyday workflows, and that starts to help.
Excellent. Okay, so having covered like what those threats are and how it's being used against you, I guess now let's ask the key question, which is how does Getvisibility use AI? What are you actually doing with AI to combat all this?
So the main problem we solve with AI is we look at vast quantities of data, but we give that business meaning and business context through classification. Everyone in an organization will have a different view or a different understanding of risks based on their education or their understanding of the data. So Getvisibility finds the data, contextualizes, but it starts to interact with every user in the organization saying, hey, you're just about to do this. Our AI model thinks that this is a risky behavior, or you're about to send it or interact with an individual that is exhibiting risky traits, for example. So Getvisibility treads in the context and looks at those patterns and the user behavior analytics to really enhance everyday activities within the organizations, with everyone in the organization, without it becoming a very large overhead.
Excellent. Okay, that gives me more understanding of how you're approaching it. So, very interesting, and I appreciate the time you've given us. But last question for you is just, you're obviously here at Tech Week. What are you aiming to achieve from your participation?
So we've started to see great growth in the APAC region. We've just been given IMDA accreditation, which is a great honor here in Singapore. And now it's about building relationships and raising awareness and bringing our AI technology and evangelizing AI overall as a real benefit to cybersecurity.
Excellent. Well, I hope the rest of the week goes well for you. And once again, I appreciate taking the time.
Thanks a million.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.